Welcome to Inland Empire Alive, bringing you issues, events, and perspectives from throughout San Bernardino and Riverside counties. I'm David Brady, and on today's show, I'll talk to Edgar Keller, who helped launch the San Bernardino City Library Foundation in 1995. That's today on Inland Empire Alive. Well, I'm joined now by a very special guest, Mr. Edgar Keller, who was instrumental 30 years ago in launching the San Bernardino City Library Foundation. Mr. Keller, welcome to the program. It's so nice to have you. So take me all the way back 30 years ago. It's 1995. The Central Library has been around for just about 10 years. What was the impetus behind creating the foundation?
The stimulus for the foundation? Well, of course, San Bernardino has not been a very rich country. And so the library was having its problems. It was receiving a fair amount from the city, but it was simply not enough to keep up with the population and the increased use of libraries. And so a group of us got together and we decided that it was necessary to try to get some other funding operation more than the city was able to provide to us. Now, I had been a member of the library board appointed by the city, so I knew the problems that the city had, and I knew the problems that we had. And with some other people, a number of other people, about 4 or 5, we got together to seek to address the problem, and decided that we would have a foundation, as some other places were doing, and libraries in particular were doing, as the libraries throughout the country were having problems. And we would try to get some way of augmenting whatever the city council could afford to provide to us. I had been on the city council for 24 years. I knew its problems, and I knew that they wouldn't all be solved by the city. And so we got together, and after considerable consideration and discussion as to some inquiry as to how other cities were managing it, we decided that it would be necessary or advisable to commence a foundation that would accumulate money, and hopefully we would accumulate enough money, not spending it immediately but a foundation such as universities use, spending only the income from the money and we ultimately decided that if we could get half $500,000 together from that point on, why there would be enough profit from, hopefully, that we could augment what we got from the city council somewhat. And that's what we did. We studied, checked with other cities that had foundations, and essentially followed pretty much what they had done.
How does it feel now, 30 years later, to see this foundation still thriving, still
Well-
funding these projects that the city might have a shortfall?
Well, I'm very glad that we have it. I have not been active in it in the last few years. In 2003, San Bernardino was visited with what they called the Old Fire, which
Sure.
destroyed a large part of San Bernardino, as well as the mountains above it. And in that, our house and all the contents were destroyed. And so my part in doing it, in working with the foundation, changed somewhat as of 2003, because I moved to the only place there was to move, a retirement home.
Sure.
In Redlands, so I have not been as active in the last few years as I should have been.
We'll be back with more from Ed Keller about the creation of the San Bernardino City Library Foundation after these messages.
Animal Services needs you. Do you love animals and are looking for a way to help the shelter? We have foster and volunteer opportunities year-round. We need foster parents who can advocate for their foster pets' adoption. The shelter has many dogs, cats, kittens, and puppies that could benefit from a foster home. Some animals, especially underage ones like Cole here, require more care than the shelter can provide. Most of the time, they only need a few weeks of TLC before they are ready to be adopted out. For more information, you can visit the Foster tab on www.sbcitypets.org. If you need help selecting a foster pet, email our foster team at fosterpet@sbcity.org. Want to say hi, Cole?
I'm talking with Ed Keller about the San Bernardino City Library Foundation and the importance of libraries. Can you talk to me a little bit about how the library plays that role in the soul of a community and how important it has been in the life of America?
Well, there are an awful lot of people who will tell. I could give you a lot of names. I'll start off with. Do you remember Huntley and Brinkley?
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
Chet and David.
David Brinkley.
Yep.
David, are you named after him? Perhaps?
I am not. But I do remember David Brinkley and Chet Huntley.
He was one of them who recounted very often the fact that the library was important in his early years, as a child and growing up, and even as he was a great reporter afterwards. And then, as I have mentioned in an article, I think a copy of which may have been provided to you, when I was having dinner with, 50 other people, but I was sitting with Julia, or Seth Hofstadter's wife, who you may remember was the first Secretary of the Education, and had been expected to be the first woman on the U.S. Supreme Court. If what's his name had an appointment, but he didn't get a chance to appointment, and so left to Ronald Reagan, who named somebody else, or named a Republican. But she was Mrs. Huffstetler. I had dinner with her at our National Union, Stanford Law 50th Union, and she said gratuitously, and it hadn't done to, that if it wasn't for library in her childhood, she wouldn't know what would have happened to her. She required based entirely her ability to survive, her ability to go to the library, and so many other people.
Well, we know how much books meant to Abraham Lincoln, for example.
Well,
How pivotal they were in his life.
Absolutely, and to Jefferson, and Jefferson, of course, bequeathed his library to the Library of Congress to form the Library of Congress, and so there isn't much question, I don't think, that libraries are very important, particularly for the young, but also for the old. As first, they had a library in San Bernardino that was there only for a number of years, but it was in Paris Hill Park. When they opened it up back quite a long time ago, they asked me to give the address opening it up, and the newspaper was taken particularly one part and became the headline for I called said that the duty of the libraries was to shelving the books for the mason jars of history and adventure, and they caught on to that, and and that is true. The libraries, I do hold the wisdom of the ages and the entertainment of the ages.
Absolutely. Well, Mr. Keller, we are out of time. I've got to let you go, but it has been a pleasure talking with you. On behalf of the City of San Bernardino and all of us bibliophiles out there, thank you so much for everything you've done for the San Bernardino City Library Foundation.
Thank you for listening to me.
No, it's been a pleasure.
Visit iealive.com.